Hello everyone, thanks for coming outside with me today. Today I would like to give my full scope and review on Huntworth's outdoor and hunting apparel. Real quick spoiler alert, I absolutely love this stuff and I will get into everything that I have here on the tree, but just real quick, let me kind of give you an ideology that I've started to kind of grasp the past year to 18 months, and particularly since COVID started, there back in the spring of 2020. And that idea is what I'm calling the 75-25 rule. 75% of the awesome for 25% of the cost. And that's kind of mentally what I've been thinking. If you take the premium of whatever that is, maybe it's a premium car, maybe it's a premium piece of clothing or a bow or whatever, if you can get 75% of the awesomeness of that premium thing for around 25% of the cost, that is awesome. And that is something I've kind of started to adopt in my life, is how I look at the vehicles that are in my driveway, the work I'm doing on my house, or the gear that I'm owning and putting on my back and taking into the woods each and every fall and spring. So this is all Huntworth's premium line. They do have a more budget-friendly option, and they're probably their biggest distributor that you can find nationwide is actually Walmart. And that's the first pit stop I want to take here as we look at this gear. The first stuff is like the hats, the gaiters, and the gloves. Huntworth is actually probably most known for their glove production. They make some fantastic ones. I have some of the lightweight models and some of the heavyweight models, and they truly are what Huntworth is built around, is actually their accessory stuff, because it's real quick and easy. You need a hat, you need a gaiter, you need a pair of gloves, go into Walmart and buy it. Now with that being said, their premium gloves, their premium hats, and their premium gaiters, by the way, this is the Disruption camo. This tree bark stuff looking here is their Tarnin, and I'll talk more about them when we get to it. But they offer them in a variety, snow camos as well as more like a real tree that you would expect, that you would see on the Walmart shelves. This stuff is all Sherpa line or fleece line, and it is fantastic, and particularly their gaiters. I can't say enough positive things about it. Now I'm wearing this lapel microphone, so I'm going to try as much as I can taking clothing on and off to not ruffle that. So I don't want to put this gaiter on because it's going to be right over top, but my wife absolutely loves this gaiter, and it is specifically designed. It's very well built. It's not just a straight tube. Huntworth literally thought it out, that the front end where it goes down in is a lot longer, allows you to zip your coat over it, so on and so forth. The interior is Sherpa fleece, so it actually does wick away a little bit of moisture because it's a very high pile. So when you breathe into it, it's not too bad, but it is stupid warm. I mean, it is so nice. It does have a little bit of elastic here in the stretch, so where your mouth is supposed to go, but if you accidentally get it flipped off to the side, it's not that big of a deal. Same thing's true with the hats. They're all Sherpa fleece lined. You get a little bit of a high pile, as well as their winter and heavyweight gloves. I'll pull all the gloves off the tree. I kind of have them all sprinkled together. My favorite is the lightweight glove. It's actually has a nice, all of them do have a rubber interior, which is fantastic. They do have touch both thumb and index finger. It's not the most sensitive thing in the world, so I end up still taking them off to deal with a smartphone screen. But having that rubber grip is really nice. You get a good grip on your turkey shotgun, and particularly when you're relaxed on your knee. It is a little bit cumbersome with the bow, and I don't like wearing a glove that is rubbery on my bow hand. I like wearing a glove, but I prefer it to be jersey or something, just so I don't get that really cold riser in my hand. Although in the springtime, it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal. You'd be gloveless anyway. Their heavyweight stuff is also fantastic, but the nice thing about it, so here's a lightweight glove and a heavyweight glove. They're not really bulky, but they still have that Sherpa fleece lined interior to them. So when you get your hand in here, you still have feel. That's my biggest complaint with a lot of heavyweight gloves or just snow gloves that you would wear in general, is that once you get your hand into them, is you lose a lot of tactile feel. That's not the case with this one. So I was still able to load rounds into my 25-06 for gun season. I'm still able to operate a release, although I never wear a glove on my release hand. I never will. That's not a Huntworth problem. That's just a me problem. Also has the rubber, but the heavyweights have this pad on the palm here, so you get a little bit more pressure, which is nice, and a little bit more resistance. When you're climbing up tree stands and climbing sticks, you get a little bit more cold resistance and a little bit more wear resistance as well. All right, let's continue talking about the heavyweight stuff here, and I'm going to talk about this Disruption pair of pants and jacket. We'll start with the interior of the jacket here. The nice thing, it does have these nice big interior pockets to store gloves and hat when you want to put them away and don't have the exterior pocket in order to store them, or don't want to throw them in your pack. Fully Sherpa lined and also well thought out as well. It does have the hole so you can run your tether through when you're wearing a 4-point harness. Now I hunt out of a saddle, so that's not a big deal, but for any of you in a tree stand, it's definitely a win-win. This is a soft shell jacket. jacket, and it is an excellent wind shear, and I'll talk more about it when I get it on really quick, although I'm not going to wear it too long. It is 80 degrees today. The soft shell nature of it, it's definitely not loud. It's not like as quiet as the Sherpa. There's no noise to Sherpa, right? But in terms of it being 75% of the quality, right? We're talking Sitka Kuiu First Light being that top premium line here. Talking 75% of the wind shear, the waterproofing, the windproofing, everything else, the warmth, for 25% of the cost. And so that's what you have. You have the Sitka Fanatic, which actually let me pull out. So I do own a Sitka Fanatic jacket, but it's a $400 odd jacket. Now it's stupid quiet. Berber fleece on the outside, great windproofing, excellent interior insulation, blah, 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 blah. Sideways zipper, kangaroo hand warmer pouch. I mean, it's got every bell and whistle you could possibly imagine, but it is $400. But in terms of me offering and saying, yeah, definitely buy this jacket, I wholeheartedly support this. It's less than 150 bucks. And that is fantastic. You're talking a quarter of the price of that top gear for 75% of the qualities that that gear has, which is what I'm more excited about, because, you know, the price, I'm getting to a point where I'm willing to pay nice prices for good equipment and things that'll last me a long time, which this Huntworth definitely will. But I also want to pay the dollar to, you know, helps me stay on stand longer, right? Keeps me dry, keeps the wind from just penetrating every layer and getting right to my skin and freezing me out on stand. So let's get this jacket on here and talk about some of the things on the exterior. So some of my biggest complaints with cheaper camo that you might find in Walmart, Field & Stream, Dick's Sporting Goods, that type of stuff, is that it's not built with archery hunting specifically in mind. They just kind of have pockets in general pocket places. They have a little bit of insulation, but when you go to lift your arm, the jacket just turns right up, so on and so forth. Whereas the Huntworth stuff is actually built with a hunter in mind, which is nice. Again, I'm trying to avoid this microphone here. We have two external pockets, which is fantastic, because what do you go in here? Your phone, and if you really are going to be on the cold side of things, which I really like to do, I'll put hand warmers right in here, right over top of your sternum, right over top of your heart and lungs, where you're getting a lot of blood flow. It'll really warm up your entire core. Now, the nicest part of this jacket, and I've said this in other videos where I've been wearing this before during this winter, is the wind shear and the windproofing of this jacket. There's not nearly as much insulation on the inside as with the Sitka Fanatic, of course not, but the bulk is way less. The weight between these two is fantastically in favor of the Huntworth, but there is absolutely no wind coming through these jackets whatsoever. So I can wear thin layers underneath just like I would with the Fanatic jacket and still have that same warming effect. That's really the biggest bugger with me and hunting clothing, is the temperatures that I live in. I'm here in the Northeast, and if you live in anywhere in the frost belt, which is up from Minnesota down to the Midwest through Ohio, Indiana, Pennsylvania, and then up towards Maine, you live in that general area, your winter is at least 6 months out of the year. It's the first week of May here, and we're still going to have temperatures down into the mid-30s at night, even though we're getting into green up season. So our turkey season mornings, I'm still wearing something like this in May, and I've been wearing something like this since October. So having a wind shear, so I can wear lighter thermals underneath or heavier thermals underneath, depending on the time of year, if I got snow on the ground or if it's just kind of cold in the morning, I can get away with just changing out my base layers, keep that wind off of me, which is really what chills you to the bone, and I can stay dry, I can stay cool or stay hot depending what I need, and I'm able to do it all with less bulk compared to, say, the Fanatic jacket. You do have all of your pockets are also Sherpa lined, so you're also getting, even though you don't have a really thick hand warmer in the front, you're getting some great warmth capture in the front of this jacket. Again, 75-25. Does it have the perfect kangaroo pouch of the Sitka Fanatic? No, it does not. Does it have fleece lined thermal insulated pockets that I could throw a hand warmer in each? Yes, it does. The fabric does have a four-way stretch to it, so when I go to draw a bow, it doesn't have to have the cuts. The Fanatic jacket has cuts in the armpit to allow you to lift and not actually just pull the jacket clean over your hips. It actually just has some stretch to it, so it gives that give that way instead of having a big wide cut armpit. Now, moving on to the pants, I actually love the pants even more than the jacket. I have both these in the Disruption as well as the Tarnet. Now, the Tarnet here, this camo is my absolute favorite type of camo. I love tree bark style camos, and I actually kind of like this bright, dark, muted greens with the blacks and the whites. Actually, let me bring up a bow. This is an Elite Energy 35, the very first bow that I ever bought, brand spanking new, and I got it dipped in a camo pattern that I wanted straight from the Elite factory. This is Mossy Oaks Mountain Country, and I am an absolute sucker for this camo. It's got the aspen greens and the white of the aspen trees. It has all the pine cones and all this beautiful camo. Shot a lot of deer with this bow here in the whitetail woods of the Northeast. The deer didn't seem to mind, and I absolutely love the looks of this camo pattern, and it's very similar to the Tarnin. So this Tarnin, the tree bark look, is right up my alley. I love like the mossy oak bottomland or the mossy oak tree bark. Love that pattern. It really helps you blend into the woods, and particularly when you're up a tree and when you're on the ground as well. It doesn't seem to make a hill beans difference. Turkeys haven't picked me off any worse or any less. It's mostly because I can't sit still. So these heavyweight pants that are in the disruption pattern, they have this Cordura type fabric on both the backside as well as on the knees for wear resistance. That's very well thought out. Again, a lot of four-way stretch fabric. It does have suspender loops, which is also unique. You don't see that in a lot of pants, but the nicest part, at least of the top portion of these pants, is that they all have a rough, grippy, elastic bead around the entire inside. So when you clasp this and you get it all belted up with the nice big wide belt loops around your base layers and you tuck in your shirt, it doesn't pull out. Oh, being 6'4", 215 pounds, clothes really aren't designed for me to bend over and have them still be tucked in on the backside. So having this nice rough elastic that runs around the inside keeps my base layers tucked into my pants, which is great for tick control as well as just keeping the cold wind from blowing up the back of your shirt. Yes, we have more Sherpa on the inside, and these pants are cut generously. At least the heavyweight ones are. We'll get to the lightweight ones later. The heavyweight ones are cut generously, so you get a lot of room. Now, they're still very athletic in their build. They're not super baggy, but they are cut generously in areas that you need the extra space and the mobility. You do have cargo pockets on the side, although my only complaint about the pants with the cargo pockets is that they're flush and that they're meant to stretch away from the pants. They're not like a folded, pleated pocket, so it's kind of hard to get anything more than just a couple of shells in here for your shotgun or for your rifle, maybe a turkey call or a glove or two, but there's not much more room than that. The front pockets are nice and generous and very deep as well. I can get my almost halfway up my forearm into that pocket, and the back pocket is also very generous, and it is zipped up as well, so nothing is going to fall out. Also, another thing I forgot to mention is that most of the zippers, again, 75% of the quality for 25% of the price. Most of the zippers have zipper keepers when they get to the ends, so all you have to do is push that in, and then it's not sitting there flopping around and jingling. That is fantastic on a pair of pants that's less than 150 bucks. Now, still 150 bucks is expensive, but for a premium pair of pants like this that has 75% of the qualities of your big name brands like Kuiu, Sitka, First Light, it's a winner. Real quick, let's look at the Tarnin pants. Same deal here. Now, these are XLs. They're cut a little bit bigger than the larges that I have here. I'm 6'4", about 215, 220 pounds. Once I get base layers on, about that thick. The XLs are still a little bit on the thick side, but they do offer a lot of room. Again, still have that rubber in the top, Sherpa on the inside, pockets very generous, zippers and zipper keepers in the pockets on the side. One thing I forgot to mention on the disruption pants is that all of these pants are also quarter zip up the leg. So they'll go up mid-calf. You'll see how the Sherpa goes all the way down here, right? Again, very warm, very comfy, and just like the disruption jacket, very, very windproof. I'm getting a lot of wind shear out of these pants. Very comfortable, very quiet, very soft, very resistant. Now, these ones do not have the Cordura on the back or on the knees, so they have more of your jean style pocket with no zips here on the back. And the front knees here just have a little bit of extra stitching up front here, but not an actual extra piece of Cordura. Now, I really only have two pieces of midweight here, and this one is this quarter zip hoodie, which does have, again, a nice zipper keeper up top. I have the lightweight pants on the inside. We'll pull those out here in a moment. This is nice. If you live not in the frost belt, you know, I'm talking Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, and southward, and definitely out in the southwest or the northwest in the Pacific area, area there. If you have more of that milder temps, this would be an excellent underlayer, or just as a top layer with another thermal underneath. I just kind of been wearing it around the house, wearing it out on walks when it's cold in the evenings. Just takes a little bit of the chill off. This is not windproof at all, so this is definitely an underlayer just to keep thermal on top of your skin. It's soft enough to be a next of skin layer. It does have this kind of micro suede on the inside, both front and back on the paneling, but it doesn't have, for example, the pass-through that you see on the jackets for a tether for a tree stand harness. The other midweight piece here that I have is this tartan jacket. Now this, again, if you don't live in the frost belt, this would be a fantastic jacket for you for basically year-round use. Doesn't have the same amount of wind shear. There is a little bit, like a pretty much like a standard jacket that you would buy at Walmart, Dick's, Field & Stream, that type of thing. But again, it has all the amenities that you want. It does have this very generous breast pocket up here on the left with the zipper and the zipper keeper. You do have the pockets down here on the side, which are a fleece line. They're not a Sherpa line. Again, it's a midweight, not a heavyweight. They're also zipped as well. On the inside, you have the zipper keeper up top here. Again, it's this really micro suede fleece. It's not the Sherpa, but you do have the tree stand pass-through on the back here. They do all come with microband scent control, but I haven't used them enough without washing them to really test to see how that works. I've used some garments from premium companies that have the microband type technology, Trizar from Forlow, for example, and that stuff does really work. I'll be very interested to test this stuff out more throughout turkey season and into the fall with deer season. Let them go several weeks of hunting and see if they still stink by the end. I don't really worry about scent control as much as I worry just about general BO for my own personal sake. The deer are going to pick me off regardless, so I'll be interested to see how that microband works. Now for the jackets, I do wear XLs, and this one is definitely very nice and form-fitting. All right, so let's talk about these lightweight pants. This is probably the actual only disappointment that I have, and that's just that their sizing here is different than the rest of their sizing. So I was getting larges with the other ones just based off their sizing chart, and the larges here are built very athletically cut. Love these lightweight pants though. The material is incredibly stretchy. It doesn't feel very durable, so I'm very glad that they put stuff on the knees and on the backside just like they did with the Disruption heavyweight pants. Very pleased with, they have nice deep pockets here. You have the zip up cargo pockets, and because this fabric is so stretchy, you're able to pack a little bit more in here than with the other ones. But the problem is that I need an XL, if not a double XL, in the lightweight pants. I don't know if that was just something that they had, but it still has everything else, the nice elastic on the inside. I just couldn't get over my fat hips. So maybe I'll try out the large or extra large, but for turkey season, or if you live south of the frost belt, if you're looking for a pair of lightweight pants that will take care of you through all of turkey season and into the early archery season in particular, this is the ticket. And if you have the little bit of room underneath to throw on a lightweight thermal, you might be able down in the south to get through the rut. But for up here, up north, these wouldn't see pretty much any more than turkey season. Last couple of pieces here, continuing with the lightweight, we do have a super thin lightweight. I mean, it's basically transparent, or at least translucent here on the backside as an undergarment. Or again, if you live in a hot weather environment for turkey season, we would never see an area where it'd be that hot. This actually is going to be a great fishing, camping shirt for me, just kind of lounging around when it's 70, 80 degrees, like at the end of a turkey hunt. Nate Fry and I from the Budget Sportsman are actually planning a little turkey hunt adventure here, a camping adventure, towards the end of May. We're very excited about that, and I'm definitely taking this shirt as just kind of a lounge around shirt, a bug netting shirt, if you will. It's a great addition, I think. It's just built, again, very smart, nice big open generous zipper, lots of airflow, little pocket up here on the inside, throw your phone in and whatnot. Last but not least, a piece I wore a lot actually for the turkey season opener here in Pennsylvania is this kind of mid lightweight hoodie. Now the nice thing about this compared to the other quarter zips that I have, or half zips that I have, is that this one actually has the hoodie bit on the front, so you actually kind of have the hand warmer, which really is just nice to kind of put things in. Your gloves, your phone, same thing here. You do have a little zip pocket. You could store a little bit more valuable here up in the top. Nice big generous zipper, lots of airflow. This does kind of have the micro fleece, although it's really a loose micro fleece. In terms of that, there's this waffle grid pattern, really breathes a lot, not a whole lot of wind blockage here, not a whole lot of thermal. The nice thing though is that with this very generous, very flexible hood, it has the integrated face mask, which is something you really only see, again, on the more expensive brands. Again, 75% of the quality, 25% of the price. I wore this a lot this past weekend, got a lot of successful sit downs with it, works very well, covers up your ears, doesn't keep you too hot, cuts the wind a little bit. The integrated face mask you can wear with or without the hood. It is full spandex, so you get a lot of stretch in there. Really allows for my facial hair to be in there, sit it over my nose and not fog up my glasses. Oh, and lastly that I keep forgetting to mention, all the base layers have elastic thumb loops, which is great. I hate actually having a hole inside the sleeve. A lot of the premiums put this a little bit of elastic here. It's usually the same color as the shirt, but who cares? This just little elastic loop, you get a nice thumb grip, pull your arm through your sleeve, take the elastic off, and you get that nice, you don't have to hold it and shove it through the heavier jacket that you're trying to put on. Really just a nice little touch. And again, 75% of the quality for 25% of the price. If not actually like 90% of the quality for 25% of the price. Although that doesn't add up to 100%. Yeah, whatever. I teach English, not math. Just calm down. So anyways, that's all for this video and my full review so far of the Huntworth brand of clothing. Again, I'm really digging the tartan pattern. The disruption's great too. I'm really liking what they're doing and what they're selling. And of course, it's a Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania company. Couldn't ask for more. If you have any questions about Huntworth or what I'm doing with the clothing or anything else that pertains to outdoor apparel, archery hunting, follow the links in the description below. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, send me an email, or even leave a comment. In particular, if you have an experience with Huntworth clothing, whether it's their gloves, their hats, their gaiters, their full suit, whatever it may be, drop that down below for everybody to learn from. So I hope you're able to get outside, enjoy the sport of archery hunting if you so choose. Definitely enjoy God's beautiful, sunshiny creation, and we'll get to see you next time.